Hello, YouTube. I'd like to chat, nothing new there. Um, Consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Consistently. Key to life. Cue, habit, response. Like Pavlov's dog. We need to have consistency in our life consistently. As adults, no one is going to come and make you do those things you want to do and keep doing them. No one is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves and condition ourselves. The key here is to respond, train yourself to respond again and again in the right way. Now, to be honest, it has been about 3 weeks since I did any yoga. I haven't been reading, I haven't been doing any of those things that I know are good for me. As a person with bipolar, uh, very serious bipolar, I know what it's like to have depression, to really be unable to make yourself keep doing for emotional reasons and for physical reasons. I understand that too. And yes, life is not all in the doing, but when we learn any skill, we're not going to get it right the first time. If we want to get fit, it takes time. Everything in this life takes time. And the people who achieve are the people who continue to do a thing again and again and again and again with patience and grace. This morning, I got up and I made myself do yoga. And I made myself read a little bit. And I made myself do these things because it's part of a overall decision I have made for myself, how I want my life to be constructed. And I will not allow a passing situation, mood, or condition to put me so far off course that these things don't add up over time. It's not that you've fallen off the horse that matters. How many things in our life do we pick up and quit, and pick up and quit, and pick up and quit, and pick up and quit? Don't quit. You have to acquire discipline and conditioning to continue to do a thing. Cue, habit, response. Even your choosing to continue when you have gotten off track with whatever it is that you're getting up to, and not just completely box it away for years. Your choice repeatedly to get back up and do that thing, to take that walk, to do that yoga again and again and again, just like when you first started, to do that hobby, to do that passion again and again and again, even if you don't feel like it, even if you've let it go for a while, to get back up and decide to do it again. That in and of itself is conditioning you to make those type of choices later when you let something go. A lot of us have a lot of different directions and plans and options, and we have so many that we're constantly going all over the place and starting things and never seeing them through. Slim it down a little bit. pick a thing, and even if you feel like you've lost the gumption to do that thing, do that thing. If you take some time off, get back to doing that thing. It's not going to be easy all the time. Whether it's a balanced mood, you know yourself, you know you've let it go, and you have to muster from in there somewhere the desire and design to tell yourself from that higher self that the benefits of this were enormous. I have to make myself do it. No one is going to make you do it. So consistency. It's not that you run a marathon once that benefits your life. It's a fun activity. It's a shot in the pan. It's that you consistently continue to do those things that benefit your life over time. Make choices that benefit your life over time. When you find yourself sliding off track, you have to make a conscious decision, as if you were your parent, to do that thing. And perhaps you need to reassess your goals. Why have I fallen off the wagon? To become reinvigorated. What was this thing going to achieve for me in the long run? It's part of being an adult, making ourselves do things we don't really want to do. Then you shouldn't continue to do something if you, in the long term, don't really want to do it. But if you want something, you have to do it consistently. Sometimes it doesn't come naturally. Sometimes it requires effort to do that thing. And do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. But if you want that in your life, you have to do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And you have to acquire the discipline of consistency. It doesn't matter whether you ate an entire cake one day. It matters that you do the same thing the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And if we're not consciously making those decisions to consistently do those things that we want to do, life and those things that we don't intend to do creep in, and our life is again subsumed by negativity and negative things and things that we don't want in our life, and behaviors and activities and responses that we don't anticipate. You don't always want to do what's best for you. And we don't always do what's best for us. We don't always stick to our routines and habits. We're not robots. But the minute you stop choosing to do a thing consistently, it falls away. And it's up to us to place it back in and do it consistently, because whatever we do consistently is what we are. It's what we become. It's what our lives consist of. We are what we do consistently. That's what we consist of. So I know it's not easy to always do that thing. You don't have to always do that thing. Just do that thing more often than not. And if you see it going away, make the decision and make yourself. There will come another day where you don't have to make yourself. And if you don't now, you'll look backward. And very, very quickly, you'll be in a place where you can't. You don't feel like you can, and you have to start all over. Or you go off on another track and you pick up things and start them and drop them and start them and drop them and start them and drop them. Pick something and develop the skill of sticking to it. Pick a way of being, a way of approaching life, certain activities and things that are core that are going to be core to you and what you want, and stick to it for the long haul. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to drop it if it's not effective. It's not okay to drop everything. Your life will remain scattered, undirected, unstable. You won't feel like you're getting anywhere. If you're in a river and you're constantly swimming in different directions and you can't pick which one, or you're lost in the woods and you walk in every different direction around and around trying to get unlost, you will never get unlost. If you pick a direction and keep walking consistently, keep walking. If you stop and you take a break, if it's too hard, if you are sick, if you are not well, if something comes up and you just let something go, you sit down in the woods and you can't go anymore. Dig deep down inside and realize that if you consistently, you're not out of the woods. You haven't made it out of the woods. Your situation is no different now than when you started. But if you get back up and consistently keep walking the same direction, you will eventually reach your goals and be out of the woods. But no one's going to come to you and make you get back up when you don't feel like getting back up. That comes from in here, and that comes from an understanding that these steps you've taken have gotten you to a certain place, and they're a valuable part of who you are and where you're going. And unless you continue to do them, other things will fill their place, and you won't see the fruits of your effort. Also consider better rewards. Pavlov's dog, ring bell reward. If you are not motivated to consistently keep doing what you've decided to do, realize that people do what works for them. And you need more conditioning, more reward to get back into that place where this thing benefits you. Provide yourself rewards. Provide yourself cues. Lay your clothes out. Lay your activities out. Write out reminders of how nice it felt. Treat yourself. Go out. Do something special when you have picked back up on this habit and these consistent behaviors start to return again, and you don't need to give yourself a doggy biscuit when you ring that bell, but you need a positive association again to make you get up and do that. And again, that's up to us. Try to live consistently as far as those core things that you want or you will always feel up in the air. If you walk somewhere, keep walking. So yeah, it's less of what you choose to do and more of what you choose to do regularly that makes up your life. We are what we repeatedly do. And that is consistency. Consistency is key. It's as key as balance. Speaking of balance, my chair actually broke. I propped the leg underneath here. I'm very out of balance. And I require another cup of coffee. And I have some business to take care of. And I'm going to do another round of yoga because I should. Because I like who I'm becoming. And I've briefly tasted the bitterness of what happens when I don't consistently do these choices that I've put in place in my life. Consistency. Not constantly. Consistency. And I'm sorry I'm looking all over the place. The camera is also jerry-rigged with rubber bands to a stick. So I can't even see where I'm supposed to be looking, so I'm sorry, I'm like, but making these videos, as much as I go back and forth about YouTube, I go back and forth about a lot of things. And the key here for me is that I made a decision. I made a decision without knowing how it was going to pan out. We don't know how things are going to pan out. And unless we continue to do them consistently regardless, we don't know how it will end up. We can't quit halfway through because of passing anything. We're not always going to feel certain. We're not always going to have everything in place. Even ourselves. It's about the big perspective. And the discipline and the choice and being a grown-up and making your higher self make these decisions for you. YouTube doesn't have to be your thing. Yoga doesn't have to be your thing. Fitness, nutrition doesn't have to be your thing. But whatever your thing is, keep doing it. Whatever constitutes a quality life for you, do it more often than you do other things. Regardless how any period of time pans out, or you'll never get out of the woods. Love you guys. Bye, YouTube.